What is up, YouTube? I'm Goudite74 here, bringing you guys week 2 of the PEBA. This week we are taking on Blind Messiah, aka Sean, coach of the Vienna Vibe Check. We are both going into this game with a 1-0 record. Now this introduction is going to be a little bit different. Instead of doing a recap or any of that, I'm going to dedicate this introduction part to express the importance of Black Lives Matter and doing my part to help out. I've already signed a few petitions, which if still available, I will link in the description below, as well as places you can donate. The Minnesota Freedom Fund and blacklivesmatter.com are two that come to mind, but also try and find others and link them down as well. If you have a local protest, attend. Protesting isn't for everybody, and that is okay, especially because some cops are out of their mind and there's a lot going on there. But the relationship between our police system and people of color is strained, and any form of good connection we can form with the system, despite it being needing some rework, helps. There's a lot more to it, but this is just a general outlook. Just a few things before I end this up. Be nice to everybody. It's really easy not to be racist. Don't make this about politics. Oh my god, dude. I don't care what side you're on. This is a fight about racism, and I know there's more to it, but this is what is important and what people are focusing on at the moment, so please, just leave the politics out of it. And then finally, even when this stops, quote, trending, Black Lives Matter doesn't go away and the problems black people face, so please just keep that in mind. Onward to the video, and now I'm putting a timestamp just so you guys wouldn't skip that first part, hopefully. We have a really tough matchup this week, like a really tough one. Not just because the matchup is all bad, more because my opponent Sean has an insane team. I love his team so much, as we're just going to dive in and get into it. To start us off, what my opponent Sean has this week consists of Mega Alakazam, Conkeldurr, Scizor, Crocodile, Noivern, Politoed, Galarian Weezing, Virizion, Electros, Seaking that can Dynamax, Colossal, and Audino. Now I expect my opponent to bring consists of Mega Alakazam, Conkeldurr, Scizor, Noivern, Seaking, and Colossal. I could see Virizion maybe coming, and as well as the Galarian Weezing as an 8th mon. But otherwise, this is what I'm expecting my opponent to bring. I'm going to talk about some threats. We got a lot of them here. Scizor, you guys know I struggle against Scizor. I'm really bad with facing this Pokemon, and this is no different. I only have so much to deal with this, especially because HP Fire is not a thing in this league. This thing is going to be insanely hard to kill. Like just a standard U-turn Bullet Punch Roost set is going to be really annoying for us. Something that is really going to run through our team is Bulk Up Conkeldurr. I have a lot of physical attackers this week and not many special attackers, especially because my spoiler Slowking, while nice against Conkeldurr, is slower than Conkeldurr, which is a serious problem, and if it only needs one bulk up to kind of run through my team. So that's something I have to be very wary about. My opponent did bring Seaking week 1 and had some success with it, and I feel like Seaking will come again because it can surprisingly probably trade 1-for-1 for something on my team, and that is a really scary thought considering Seaking has coverage up the ass. So I have to worry about that. And then finally, I could see Colossal coming because Colossal completely shuts down my endgame. I have a pretty solid endgame in Entei, but if Colossal comes, then that thing needs to be gone. Just straight up gone in order for my Entei to actually do stuff in this game. So that is something I have to be really careful about. And if they don't bring it, then it makes my life a lot easier, but I fully expect Sean to bring it. By the way, I do love this team a lot. The only thing I really don't like about it is the random ass Politoed sitting there. Don't know why that's a thing, but hey, it's there, whatever, we have to prep for it. And that is basically a wrap up of my opponent's team this week. A summary of our game plan: we're going to just try and break as hard as we can with Bulu and Kyurem, and then have Entei clean up. And that is just basically it in a nutshell. But what I am bringing to this game this week consists of Tapu Bulu, Entei, Slowking, Mega Aggron, Mandibuzz, and Kyurem. To start us off, making its season debut is Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is running enough speed to outspeed Seaking. I have the Koba Berry, and my moves are Bulk Up, Horn Leech, Stone Edge, and Nature's Madness. You're probably like, why the hell are you bringing Tapu Bulu? Your opponent has a Scizor, a Noivern, and a Galarian Weezing. Well, A, I don't expect Galarian Weezing to come. B, this set is particularly meant to beat the Noivern, and yeah, for Scizor I got nothing. But this Noivern, this is meant to come in, bulk up, and if Noivern, cross my fingers, hopefully that's the switch in and not Scizor. They click Hurricane or whatever, I live the hit, and then I Stone Edge and just nuke it. And that would be the best case scenario for me. Obviously, again, they have a Scizor. I do not have much for that, though luckily if I do bulk up, Bullet Punch isn't doing as much. And if they're not a boosting Scizor, if I'm at like +2, I could potentially actually beat the Scizor with Nature's Madness plus Stone Edge. So that's pretty interesting. I don't think I'm going to be put in that scenario or get the chance to do that. but hey, it would be really nice. It hits a lot of things on my opponent's team really hard. Mega Zam doesn't want to take it. Sea King's going to get nuked by Hornleech. Colossal, if it wants to come, Stone Edge will just do a lot to it. I mean, it's pretty bulky, so I'll live it, but still. This does beat Conk not holding Poison Jab, which it might not have. You don't know. Conk kind of has 4 moveset syndrome if it's going to be the bulk up set, which I do expect. So that's going to be pretty interesting, and it has a really good matchup all around here. And if you take out the 3 clearing things that kind of wall it, but otherwise after that, Bulu's looks really good here. That is Tapu Bulu. Next up is our win con. It is Entei. I went back and forth between Band and Scarf forever. Sacred Fire, Stomping Tantrum, E-Speed, Flare Blitz. Again, unless I make the prediction and click Stomping Tantrum on the Colossal, I'm never beating that whatsoever, and I don't really want to be clicking that move. I went Banded in the end because E-Speed Banded does a lot to the Mega Zam still. I know Scarf Sacred Fire was basically a knockout and E-Speed isn't, but the reason I ran Band is because Entei is faster than so many of my opponent's Pokemon, so the Banded Sacred Fire is just going to do a hell of a lot more than the Scarf one. So I decided to do that, and Banded E-Speed is still doing a load to Zam and the Noivern, which are the 2 faster mons I'm looking at particularly. So that's why I went this route in the end. Not sure how I feel, but I feel like it'll still get the job done because getting Chip on Mega Zam is not going to be too hard. And once I get Colossal down, if it does decide to come, is going to be great. So that is Entei. It's there to be late game. Third up is Slowking. Slowking is very Spadef with Scald, Psychic, Ice Beam, and Teleport. I had 4 moveset syndrome here. I didn't know if I wanted to slack off or not. I decided to put Ice Beam just because Noivern is a bit hard to deal with offensively. So being able to deal with it in the defensive matter with Ice Beam was really nice. This is a pivot, again, just like last week, but it's going to pivot into Noivern this week. The Mega Alakazam, the Galarian Weezing if it comes, the Politoed if it comes, the Colossal, and that is mainly what Slowking's pivoting around into. I'd say Sea King, but Sea King gets Mega Horn and Knockoff, and I ain't trying to take one of those hits. So I do have to be careful with the Slowking, but I think it's going to put in work this game as well. Fourth up is going to be Mega Aggron. Mega Aggron is max HP with some Spadef, speed, and attack all around. I have Stealth Rock, Heavy Slam, a Fire Punch, and Counter. This is a really weird set. Counter is there for the Conkeldurr and the Sea King. If Sea King's Dynamaxed and like the rain's up, Max Geyser is doing a lot to me. But if I can counter that, I know it's probably not going to kill just because of the HP buff, but it will do a lot of damage to the Sea King because otherwise I wouldn't really be able to touch it. It's also there for the Conk. If it's not bulk up for whatever reason, if it's going to Drain Punch or Close Combat, it's going to do a lot to me, but it will never knock me out. And then I can counter and just knock that thing out, which would be absolutely great. This hard walls the Scizor. It walls Noivern to an extent, as long as it's not like Specs Flamethrower. That'll be okay. The Weezing, though I have to be careful with Will-O-Wisp. And then I can't touch the Colossal, which really sucks. That might be a problem because Earthquake was the 5th move if I didn't have counter. But we're going to see, hopefully that doesn't arise in the battle. And again, Heavy Slam is just really good coverage for my opponent's team. Fifth up is going to be Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz has mixed bulk with Brave Bird, U-Turn, Defog, Roost, making its season debut with the heavy duty boots. This is my quote switch into Conk. If it's bulk up Conk, I don't really beat it, but it's at least a way to deal with it. I have Defog just to get rid of any rocks or spikes or even T-spikes if Weezing comes. This is mainly here for Conk and Crook, though I do not expect Crook to come at any stretch of imagination. As well as Virizion, this does wall Virizion pretty nicely. Also do not really... Virizion could come because, except for Tapu Bulu, it does do kind of nice against my team because of its speed tier. But it does need like a Swords Dance or a good power boost before it can do anything. Thus Mandibuzz is here to just kind of shut that down. And it's just a good pivot as well. Slowking and Mandibuzz are going to be pivoting around a lot, while Aggron is going to be walling stuff. That's Mandibuzz, and then finally we have our Choice Specs Kyurem with Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, a Draco Meteor, and Earth Power. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea what to put in this slot. I needed a special attacker, definitely, but I wasn't sure where to go here. If Weezing doesn't come, I can drop Dracos for basically free. Scizor does not really want to take it, and it's going to be forced to Roost, which lets me get in Entei for free, which Entei has a pretty solid matchup here, so that's going to be pretty nice. And just, again, it's just about dropping Dracos, and Ice Beam is even pretty spammable in this game. Except unless the Politoed comes, the Colossal comes, all that stuff. Even the Scizor doesn't kind of take the Ice Beam. It's the Draco Meteor that's going to do a lot of damage to it. And that is Kyurem. It's just meant to break early game, if not mid game, and that's just its role. Not the most important mon on the team like it was last week. And yeah, that is going to wrap it up for the team builder. I'm feeling pretty good about this team. This Tapu Bulu is making me feel a little bit weird just because of what my opponent has. Not sure how I feel about that, as well as the my bulk up Conch Answer is Mana Buzz. Also not sure how I feel about that, but hey, we're gonna do what we can do. We're gonna head over to Pokemon Showdown and we're going to watch the battle. Alright, we have arrived at Pokemon Showdown. My opponent has an Audino, a Colossal, and a Weezing. So things are looking bad right out the start. Colossal is one of those mons where I knew it was going to get into my team, but I wasn't quite sure if it was going to come, but I did kind of expect it to. So again, looking really bad. In regards to the lead, I'm going to lead off with Tapu Bulu. It's doing nothing in this game, especially because Weezing and Scizor is here, is not the Noivern, so that really sucks. I don't want to lose a turn 1 for nothing though, so I'm going to go out on the Slowking, as my opponent leads off with Weezing and goes for T-Spikes. So that's pretty bad. I do have a Defogger and Mana Balls though, as they're going to go out into the Audino as I just click the Psychic. Reveal that it is a pretty Spadef Audino, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. This Audino is also a threat because I didn't really prep too heavily for this. I'm an idiot. I stay in and click Teleport and just, instead of hard switching into Aggron. Really bad play on my part. I don't know why I did that. I lost my leftovers for no reason. As Aggron's going to come out, I can Mega Evolve for freely now and just set up the rocks, as my opponent just goes hard out on the Conch, and that really threw me off. I was kind of shocked my opponent did that. If I clicked Heavy Slam, that probably does at least like 50 to 60. So I was kind of shocked about it. But Conch's in. I'm going to go on Mana Buzz. I thought about clicking Counter, but since they are the bulk upset, I would have lost on the spot if I did that. So this is looking really bad because they click bulk up, I have to just spam Brave Bird now to at least get Conch low. And you see Brave Bird's only doing 37-ish% around that mark. And they're going to knock off luckily, so that's pretty nice. They knock off my boots. This is bad because I'm not going to be able to defog, and if you look at my team, except for Mega Aggron, my entire team hates Toxic Spikes, so this is going to be a big problem, as they're going to click Drain Punch and knock me out. Go back up to 46%, going to be 40 after the burn, and this is looking really bad because I lost my Defogger and the T-Spikes are still up. They have Drain Punch and Knock Off and Bulk Up. I expect the last move to be Mach Punch and not Poison Jab. So I could have bulked up there, but Weezing's still at full and Scizor is existing, so I felt like it wasn't necessary. I didn't want to mess around with Conch anyway, so I just Horn Leech, which is the play I end up making. I'm going to switch out again because, again, Slowking is going to get poisoned at some point. It might as well be now. I don't see what they're going to do, as they're just going to fire off a Sludge Bomb. I'm really Spadef. It's going to do nothing. And this turn, I don't think they want to risk their Weezing right here because it's still pretty solid in this matchup, so I'm going to Teleport instead of Psychic as the Scizor comes out. So I do get this play right. But what I don't get right is that I end up going out into Aggron, and what I should have done is gone out into Entei and clicked the Sacred Fire. I know that the Colossal's sitting right there, but it's the same scenario with Mega Aggron. Colossal's sitting right there, as that is exactly what is going to come out. As they take rocks, so thankfully they're not heavy duty boots, and I'm just going to Fire Punch and do nothing. They're not Steam Engine and not Flash Fire, so I know they're Flame Body, so I have to be really careful playing around this Colossal. I'm going to Slowking, it's my switch into this thing, as they're just going to fire off rocks. So now this is looking really bad for my Entei and Kyurem in the back, especially the Entei because it's my late game. I believe I fire off a Scald here. Yeah, Audino comes in. I'm going to fire off a Scald and try and burn this thing on the first try, as luckily I do burn it, so that's kind of nice. As I can't really do much after that, so I got the burn. I'm just going to teleport out probably at this point, as they're going to throw up a Wish, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to go out into the Tapu Bulu, try and switch it up a little bit. And I don't really have a play here. Colossal will just come back in every time. At least this kind of prevents Colossal from coming in, as I could just Nature's Madness, which is the button I'm probably going to click here as the Weezing comes out. So that kind of sucks. I'm going to Nature's Madness. It's going to do half its health, and it's going to get up to basically full health with the Wish back. So this really sucks. I realize at this point I'm not getting anywhere by switching over and over again, so I'm just going to sack the Bulu to get some good chip on this Weezing, as they're going to click Sludge Bomb and nuke my Bulu. So Bulu goes down, it's 6-4, and we are in a really bad spot at the moment. I'm going to now send out my Kyurem because it is my special breaker. I am Specs, and Ice Beam is going to hurt something. If Scizor wants to come in, at least it's going to take rocks. As Scizor is going to come in, it's going to take the rocks, and I'm going to click the Ice Beam. It is going to do 49%. Not only is this an offensive Scizor, that was a really high roll, so I do apologize to Sean. Luckily I did calc, so I did realize it was a high roll and not like a mid roll or anything. So I'm not going to stay in. I can just go out into Aggron here, as they're going to click the Bullet Punch. And this is probably an offensive Scizor, or at least it's not the most bulky thing in the entire world either. So here, again, not having Earthquake really sucks because Colossal can just come in, and I have to risk getting burnt every time, which is really annoying. as Fire Punch is doing nothing to this thing. So this is really bad. Luckily he's not leftover, so that kind of helps as well. I go into Slow King, they can't really do too much to me. They go for Will-O-Wisp, it does nothing. That's good. I can click the Scald button here, as they go for Stone Edge, but I don't click Scald. I actually mispredict and click Teleport. This really sucks because I don't kill this thing. I can bring in Kyurem now and click a Draco Meteor because I don't expect them to go out into Wheezing, and I can claim a kill basically if they stay in, as I click Draco and miss. This really sucks that I missed this move because they're going to click Flamethrower and the poison's going to knock me out and Kyurem's going to go down, and this Colossal is still at 55%. That's really big. Things are looking really bad, don't get me wrong, but I still feel like Entei has a good shot in the back if this thing was gone. But now, because this thing is still around, it's going to be a big problem. Zam comes out, and I always said I needed a little bit of chip on this, so this is the chip I needed. I burned it on the first try, which is nice. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep my Slow King around for this Colossal and the, I guess, Conk. So I'm going to switch in Aggron, as they're going to Mega Evolve and get my Filter ability. I didn't want them getting Regen either, as they're going to click Shadow Ball, and it's going to do a lot of damage. Luckily, it probably shouldn't kill on this next time, so I'm just going to go for the Heavy Slam here, as they go on the Colossal, and because this thing's around, I have to risk it again, as a Heavy Slam doesn't even 2-KO it, which really sucks. Fortunately for me, I don't get burnt for the third time, which is pretty nice. I can go on the Slow King here, as I'm going to tank a Stone Edge. It's going to do a decent chunk, and that really sucks. As I'm going to fire off a Scald this turn, I believe. I do outspeed this thing and knock out the Colossal. So this thing is finally gone, but my Slow King's at very low health, Aggron's at low health, and now Mega Zam can come in and get Regenerator as an ability, so this is really a bad scenario to be in. I have to sack something, it's going to be this thing, and Entei's looking kind of nice here still. It's just, since I'm Choice Banded, it kind of is really hurting me in this scenario. If I was like Life Orb, or not even Life Orb, just a boosting item that doesn't hurt me, it would be really nice. So Entei's going to come out, I'm going to click E-Speed, I'm kind of forced to click it, as they go on the Scizor, and I'm just like, no, because that's really bad. If I was scarfed in the Sacred Fire, this would be a very good turn for me. I'd force a kill, but because I'm not, this is just really bad. I have to go on this Aggron here, as they could probably just U-turn for free. They Bullet Punch luckily, so I guess that's nice. I can Heavy Slam now and click the button, as they're going to go out into Auto now. I actually believe I just Fire Punch because I was fearing Roost. Yeah, that's what happened. I Fire Punch. That's kind of whatever. I can Heavy Slam the next turn. Auto no can't do too much to me. The Wish Passing is annoying, as Heavy Slam does a load of damage to this Auto no, and they're actually going to bust out Yawn. So that's really a nice tech on my opponent's part. I'm just going to fire off the Fire Punch just in case Scizor wants to come in, as they don't even protect it. Auto no goes down, so that's really nice to get out of the way. Unfortunately for me, I think it's a little bit too late because Mega Aggron is asleep, and Mega Zam is still around, so Conk's going to come out, and they're probably just going to bulk up and win, but luckily they just Drain Punch. And at this point, it's Entei versus the world. If Alakazam was gone, I honestly feel like I could probably win this game. But because Zam's still around, I'm forced to lock into the E-Speed. And because I'm forced to lock in the E-Speed, that doesn't knock out Scizor. That doesn't knock out Wheezing. It doesn't even knock out Conk. I think that was a lower roll. And Drain Punch is going to knock me out. And this unfortunate game is going to end, and we're going to lose 4-0 to Sean. So GG to my opponent. I don't really have a crazy amount to say about this battle outside of I didn't do a good job preparing and I could have done a lot better, and Sean brought a really good team against me, so big props to him there. That Draco Meteor miss does really suck, but unless he gave me Mega Alakazam at some point, I don't think it really mattered outside of a few differential points. So there's that. GG again to Sean. Thank you for the battle. We are going to move down to a 1-on-1 record with a +0 differential. Unfortunate, but it happens. We fought a Scizor this week, which I have mentioned that I'm not really good against. And next week in the PEBA, we face Chakal, and he has a Mega Scizor. Yay! I want to cry, but that's going to be next week's battle. Please check out the description this week. It is very important that you guys help out in any way you possibly can. Don't be silent. Call out racists. Punch your local racist. And just be nice to everybody. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm gonna head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.